Oh, sorry about that. Don't know what happened there. Um, right, we're back anyway. Um, right, so Adam has started out his first flight lap of this final qualifying session. We've got, I believe that is now Capitano, no, not Capitano, Jensen behind him. We've got MJ as well, just behind that. And Anime, Oro, um, Oliver and Pizza closely following here, with Adam about to set the benchmark out for this final qualifying, uh, final part of the qualifying hour. So, what can Adam do for the benchmark for the other drivers? He is gone 20, 22.5. Jensen goes 22.0. So many cars setting laps so quickly. We've got Pizza 22.8, MJ 22.6, Oliver 22.5, Adam 22.5 as well. Only 3 milliseconds separating them two at the minute. Anime 22.2, Oro 22.1, Jensen with a 22.0. These are some seriously quick lap times in this session, leaving best laps till the final stages, and I do not blame them right now. So 7 has been the quickest overall so far in the final couple of sessions. What can he do in Q3 here? He's got probably only this lap and maybe one more on a fresh set of tyres. In fact, actually, let's see what tyres people are on. He is on a fresh set. He does go quickest in sector 1. Every driver is on fresh tyres in this session, which is quite surprising that they haven't gone older tyres for their first runs. This is looking at really good lap here from 7. Where can he put the Williams? Can he knock Jensen off his throne at the minute? Will 7 break into the 121s in qualifying as well? Haven't quite seen them yet in the first 2 sessions. What can he do here? And he will go second fastest with a 22.065. Again, half a second separating the top 2 drivers. That is a seriously quick time though from Jensen. 7 has matched it, couldn't quite beat it this time around, but will no doubt have another lap to go. McCoy setting the quickest in sector 1 this time around. 5's looking pretty quick as well on that little bit of lap we've seen so far. Where can he stick the McLaren? He will go 5th fastest with a 22.2. Another pretty damn quick time from these drivers. And McCoy is 57.883 at the minute. Pretty quick as well. He did go quickest in sector 1 when we jumped on board his car a moment ago. Where can he go in the final couple of corners here? Up to the final right-hander we go. And McCoy in the McLaren will go. Where can he stick the car? He goes 6th fastest, just behind his teammate. Looking fairly solid qualifying so far for the 2 McLarens. They've been neck and neck pretty much the whole time, and looking extremely quick at times as well through this racetrack. They could be a serious threat to the drivers ahead of them in the race if they can get it together. So 7 once again going for another lap. He is on a 22.065 and he's got 41 milliseconds between himself and Jensen. these are gonna be this is gonna be once again the closest qualifying we'll have this season. He has unfortunately invalidated his lap. So McCoy, what is he potentially doing? He is probably going to go into the pits and maybe get some new tyres on. Right, so 3.5 minutes to go. We have got we got 3 cars out on track at the minute. Pizza will be the first driver to start us on our final laps of the session. So, always lucky that wasn't a invalidation for both laps there. So we've got Pizza now flying through up into turn 1 and round. We go into the right hander, now into the left, long left hander corner, into the quick right now, and up into the 2 90-degree corners we go for turns 4 and 5 here in the Qatar circuit. And end of sector 1 we are 1.5 tenths up through the hairpin, left-handed hairpin, up into turns 7 and 8 we go now. Pretty quick lap time for Pizza. Where can he chuck it this Mercedes this lap? He's done very, very well throughout the rest of the qualifying session. 3.5 tenths up now on his previous time. He could well be heading into the top 7, potentially a little bit higher, depending on what he can do in this final part of the lap we go. And he's down onto the home straight now. Where can he stick the Mercedes? He will go 7th fastest. Good lap time there for Pizza. We did have another driver on. Who was the other driver on their hot lap as well? So we've got MJ now as well. He is up in the first sector on his lap time. He's almost 4 tenths up in this sector as well. On his previous lap time. He's flying through this bit. He does not want to be 10th right now. He is going to potentially be up in the top 7 as well. Could he knock Pizza down into 8th? What can MJ do here? He will go 4th fastest. He has jumped well and truly well out the way of starting towards the middle of the pack here. Right, we've got Fives just on his outlap. We've got McCoy on his outlap as well. We've got Jensen now coming round the final corner. What can he do with this lap time? Will he get any quicker than his previous one? No, he is slightly up on his time, but he will remain quickest overall. 7 is one of the few drivers that can take the fight to Jensen. Adam goes 2nd fastest. That is a brilliant lap time from Oliver. Goes 22.004. That's fantastic lap time from the Alpine driver. He is quick. He is on provisional pole right now. Anime is coming around the final corner. Look, not too sure how the rest of his lap has gone so far, but he will head from 7th up into first. He has hit the 21, the 1 minute 21s with a 21.996. Fantastic end to the lap there for Anime. Who else have we got? We've got 7 now, about to cross the line. Where can he stick that? Williams, he goes quickest as well. 2 and a bit tenths quicker than the Ferrari of Anime. These are some fantastic lap times as we come to the end at 5s. Heads across the line with a 22.099. But what a brilliant end there. 4 drivers were on provisional pole. 7 comes out on top with a 21.768. Anime in second with a 21.996. And Oliver with a 22.004. What fantastic lap times. They are your top 3 for the start of this race. And anything is possible now for the next, I think, I want to say around 20-ish 20 odd laps. But 7 Anime, Oliver are your top 3. Jensen, Adam, 5s, Oro, MJ, McCoy, Pizza round off your top 10 here for Qatar race. And what a fantastic end. What a brilliant qualifying overall for the past hour. And no doubt we will be looking for what will be a fantastic race. So drivers now sorting out their strategies. Probably going to be, with it being Qatar and the track being so warm at times, it is no doubt, I reckon, a 2-stop for most drivers. Some will probably try a 1-stop, but who knows, anything could happen here. And anyone in that top, especially in that top 3, are going to try and throw anything at each other. Try and make whatever strategy work for themselves. So as for strategies, it could potentially be a medium to hard, hard to medium, depending on whether drivers want to go long on first stint, or they could also go along with that strategy and maybe throw in a set of softs, depending on how they are feeling, depending on how the race is going. I don't see too many safety cars in this race, as there's a fair bit of runoff space around the track. So no doubt, no doubt they will. No doubt a lot of space will be given towards each other. They are the drivers here are very, very respectful in that respect, 90% of the time. Although clashes do happen, so who knows what could happen. There is going to be a huge fight for the lead. There no doubt will be a huge fight for the back end of the points as well. We will have roughly, we'll have 29 laps of full out or flat out racing very, very soon, and one hell of a battle for the win, one hell of a battle for every single point position available. So here we go, we are about to go racing now, and lights are there, and we're off. We have got this race underway. 7 litres away, Oliver already up into second place, and we're dropping down to 5th at the start here. 7, a few tenths ahead going into turn 1. Anyway now making his way back up. He did drop a few places at the start. He is now into 4th place and trying to push back into the podium back up to podium contention. So Jackson, Oliver 7 looking very, very strong, and Oliver trying to make a move up into turn 4 here. We have got a few cars at the back. Not too sure what's happened between Shifty and Will. I don't think they collided with each other as they were a fair bit apart, but that will be an extremely tough start for both of them drivers to take. They are now around 10 to 15 seconds behind the rest of the pack, or at least Shifty will be very, very soon. That's very unfortunate for the racing bull driver, very unfortunate for the Ferrari driver as well. So the top 3 hasn't really changed too much as we end this first lap, with 7 still leading. Oliver and Johnson have moved up into the top 3. Adam down to 4th. Adam has potentially remained Adam has remained in 5th place, although his teammate has moved up a place above 5. Blues try and stay on the back of the top 6, and will do whatever he can now as well. He is being attacked from behind from MJ, who's closing that gap to P7 quite nicely here. Capitano up into the points now as well, Exception up 8 places. We'll go on board him in a moment to see what sort of moves he is making in this race. Shifty has got for functionally fresh tyres and getting that early stop out of the way, see what it will do for his race very, very soon. We have got a McLaren off at the back there as well. He's dropped down to 19th place. He's now behind Will in the Ferrari. What can he do for damage limitation in this race? He's got a hell of a drive now to gain some points in this race, as 7 goes across the line, sets the fastest lap of the race. Not many people can beat him at the minute. He took the win out in Austria in the sprint, in the first sprint race of the season. He took the win there, and he took the win in the main race as well in Austria. He's currently leading this race quite, I'm not going to say comfortably, but he is leading this race quite nicely at the minute. He's 3 laps in, 3 tenths ahead as well. He does have drivers with DRS behind, or will have DRS behind him, as we head down to the main straight in a few corners time. pressing buttons now, not middle pressing. Trying to find the stream again, we're all good. Alright, so Pete's up. Currently 9th place at the minute as well. Looking to try and cut that gap ahead of him. We'll want to try and get into the DRS. Will want DRS as soon as he can in this race. He's going to be slowly falling off the back of MJ even more in a moment. Not the start of the race he would have wanted, but still a fair few laps to go for the Mercedes driver. He has got Exception behind, and Exception now up into P9. What a start for him in these opening 4 laps from basically the back of the grid after a fairly poor qualifying for him. And now he is up into 9th in 4.5 laps. Very, very strong start. I wonder where he will finish in this race. He's got 25 laps to go and not many cars ahead of him, realistically speaking. And he is closing that gap to MJ very, very quickly, who's unfortunately fallen off the back of the McLaren. What can the Sauber of MJ do in response to a charging Red Bull of Exception? 1.1 seconds behind as we head into the final sector of this lap. Will he be within the 1 second mark when we hit the detection zone, or will he just be outside? As MJ has hit the 1 second mark for the DRS on 5s. What will happen now? Exception didn't quite make it this time around, but he is in his own little league right now. He's driving the wheels off that car as well, looking for any bit of or anything to redeem the qualifying, but he's absolutely flying right now, up into 9th, looking extremely strong for himself and his Red Bull team as well. He is unfortunately on a I'm guessing a 3-second penalty, and it is, yep, for no doubt track limits, but here he has got the pace right now and probably could well break away in the next few laps and start putting a gap between himself and Pizza. So 5's here, the final driver in the top 6 to have DRS, or top 7 sorry, to have DRS. They are in one massive train right now, as we see 7 there heading towards the start finish line. We've got 7, Oliver Jensen there once again, or still as your top 3. As Oliver tries to make the move, he does make the move into turn 1 now. Jensen as well trying to make the move. 7 defends Jensen nicely there, couldn't quite defend the Alpine of Oliver, but he will, the roles will be reversed next time around as they head now into turns 4 and 5. Some quick right hand corners here. They don't look too quick, but they are pretty, they are hitting in the middle, like roughly gear 5 around there, roughly 100 miles an hour through some of these corners. Doesn't look exactly that quick, but it is fairly quick when you're driving around it. And as we head now into the end of sector 2, Oliver now is leading this race. He has done from the start of this lap. He's pretty strong now. He's starting to break away from the 2 guys behind him, 6 tenths ahead, but the 7 will have DRS on him this time around, and Jensen again will have DRS as well. So will 7 look to make the move this time around? He isn't going to do it this time around. He's just going to sit behind possibly save some of his tyres for later on in the race. They are actually, everyone is on the medium tyres this race, apart from Doctor and Shifty, who did start on the medium, is now running the hard tyres after a fairly early stop. So 7th, Oliver Jensen battling out for the lead of this race. They are separated by only, well, the three of them separated by around 1.2 seconds at the minute. It is starting to open up at the front of the grid here. They are now 18th between so yeah, they're not separated by very much. Going into the main straight there, they were separated by 1.2 seconds. It is now only 6/10. As Oro tries to make the move around the outside of turn 1, he does try to make it again down the inside of turn 2, but doesn't quite make it stick this time. He is still behind Jensen, but will no doubt try and squeeze past at some point through this lap. He is trying to get right on the back of the Haas driver. See who's on board here and see what Oro does to try and get past. There is a few cars sliding now. Oh dear. See if I've got ice as well quickly. Sorry guys, it don't have ice, so get him back in this race as quickly as we can. 7th retaking the lead. Oro Jensen now is your top 3. We've missed a few overtakes there, but that is very unfortunate. Jensen is still has stayed third in this race. Oro now up into 2nd, Adam into 4th, Anime in 5th place, up still clinging on to this top 4 at the minute. The gap now has opened right up between what it was. We've got few drivers all over the show. Oliver dropped down to 6th. 5s now as well, having moved up. I want to say he's moved up a few places. Let's find out quickly. Let's move down a place, unfortunately for him. Wrong driver. So here comes exceptional Red Bull. He's right on the back of MJ at the minute. What can he do to move into the top 8 now? He's had a fantastic race so far. So as we see just then, we've got everyone now, or a whole chain of cars on that main straight. Everyone going from leader onwards, etc. Got past on the main straight there. MJ trying to make the move around the outside of turn 1. Wasn't quite able to make it pay off that time around, but he is still well within distance to attack the Red Bull there. Let's jump back to the front here. We are on board the Aston Martin of Adam. We've got a few we've got one car here as well, unfortunately being going to be lapped in a moment. That is the Racing Bull of Shifty. So, unfortunate for Shifty, he will be lapped in a moment in this race. Is 7 just trying to hold off for the DRS, make that cheeky advantage work going down the main straight. He was indeed, he's now getting past the Racing Bull of Shifty there as well. Adam gets past, Oro gets past as well. As Oro makes a move into turn 1, doesn't quite make it stick this time around. 7 defending nice and fairly there as well. Very strong bit of racing from these two drivers. Once again, they are going to take it to a new level of racing. They took the fight to each other last week. They've taken the fight to each other once again this week. What can they do to give us a show this time around though? I'm going to sit on board Oro here for a moment to see what happens. Anime is also up into didn't really want that coming around at that moment in time. Anime up into 3rd place. Adam has dropped off a little bit. He's almost a second behind the top 3. Anime is absolutely flying, trying to take back the places he unfortunately lost at the start of this race. Oro is going to have to choose whether he wants to attack or defend in this part of the race, as 7 makes a late move into the pits, closely followed by Anime as well. So we will see Jensen move up into 2nd. Oro will take the lead in this race. 5 has a 10-second penalty as well for speeding in the pit lane. That is unfortunate for him. We've seen a fair few drivers now jump into the pits since we see 7 and Anime dart in. A lot of others now all doing the same, trying to get this undercut nice, done perfectly if they can. But Oro and Jensen are on a mission right now. We have got a yellow flag. There's Ego, unfortunately has a moment and goes off track. Doesn't quite put it into the barrier or anything like that. Does keep the car moving nicely and keeps it from getting breached as well for the Mercedes driver. Done very well there as well indeed. So Will up into 8th place at the minute and looking pretty strong in the Ferrari. Will need to pit at some point in this race. I believe he is on the medium tyres, so his stop will probably come pretty soon. A bunch of drivers behind. Anime 7 have both boxed. They are charging down the rest of the grid now as well, and many of the drivers behind have all recently boxed for fresh tyres. So the only drivers here that haven't boxed are McCoy, Ice, Ryan, all haven't boxed just yet, but could they be going in now? No, they stay out for another lap. But we do see Jensen and Exception jump into the pits as well. They have now come out. Jensen's come out in between 7 and Anime. He is now going to be next 2nd in this race. What a stop for him. Was he expecting to get out slightly further ahead? Who knows? But now that we'll see, although taking a 10-second lead in this race as well. Will he go in this lap? We'll find out in a moment. Capitano's still yet to box as well. He will be lapping Shifty in a moment. Unfortunate there for the Racing Bull driver, but Capitano second in this race, although we'll jump into the pits now as well, as Capitano, if he stays out, will take the lead. Could he well go in as well? No, he stays out. Oliver will also stay out in this race. Capitano takes the lead for the time being. Oliver takes second place. Oro is in the pits at the minute, dropping down a few places. 7 is gonna be close between a few of these drivers. Is Oro gonna take second in the race in a moment? He is ahead of Anime and ahead of Jensen in this race at the minute after them pit stops. Didn't quite, the only driver so far to have made it under properly work is 7. He's taken that really well, made the pits at the right time, and has had the perfect stop for him in all honesty. He's 2.5 seconds ahead of Oro. He can now just put his foot to the floor and do what he needs to do to keep that gap and to stop it from closing. Anime currently will be third place when the top 3 drivers pit. No doubt it will be, I want to say it's going to be in the next few laps, because they are on 13 lap old tyres. Doctor doesn't actually have to pit just yet. He is going the long game to start, so it could well pay off for him, but he will have his teammate on much fresher, hard tyres as well, as Capitano and Oliver do box at last for themselves. With 15 laps into this race, they have only just taken off them medium tyres. Pretty good going really, as Dr. Cut now has taken the lead. He is on 11 lap older tyres than his teammate behind, and could well let his teammate go past. May not put too much of a fight up. It's not Doctor's battle. Doctor's battle isn't with his teammate. It is no doubt going to be around the P9, P8 mark with exception, and MJ when he finally jumps into the pits in probably the next 3 or 4 laps for Doctor. He can go fairly long on their medium tyres. They don't look too warm at the minute. So he has got a 3-second time penalty now, does the Williams of Doctor. Not what he would have been wanting in this race. 7 has got no DRS on his. Surely he would have had the DRS on his teammate. Maybe he's just going to hold back a little bit, play a bit of a long game here, and look for the opportunity when it arises. He has actually got past him now. Has that potentially been Doctor just letting him through, knowing his fight isn't there? So a nice little battle as well for the final podium spot. Actually, we have a 5-way battle between Oro, Jensen, Anime, Adam and Fives, all looking for this final P3 spot. This could be a battle to look for towards the end of the race. See what is happening between now and then though. It is going to probably go all race long now. They are only... it will be eventually, it will be for the final 2 podium spots as things stand. Although Oro is pretty close now to Williams of Doctor, and a 3-second penalty for Fives. That's unfortunate for him. Most of the drivers in this top. Oh Dave, what's just happened there? That is unfortunate for the Williams of Doctor. Did he have a moment out of the final corner, or did he get clipped by the Aston Martin of Oro. But Jensen takes second place now as we've caught up to Shifty once again as the drivers make their way through and Oro up into is now third place, Jensen second place. Anime is fourth place, looking to make any move he possibly can into this final half of the track. We've got 13 laps remaining. Anime flying through the racing ball of Shifty. We've got fives as well, going to be flying through anytime soon. Oro is now 3 tenths behind Jensen, who's dropped a bit off the back of the Williams of 7, and 3.5 seconds behind him with a 3-second penalty as well. Let's have a look, see what we've got penalty wise for the drivers. That's fastest lap, we don't want that just yet. Penalties, so yeah, we've got Oro, we've got Jensen, Anime, Adam and Pizza all on 3 seconds as we see Oro making the move past Jensen up into P2 he goes, and Aston once again on that second podium spot as it stands. And Jensen is trying to make the move back past the Aston Martin driver, and Oro defending for his life here, doing a pretty good job of it as well, and making it look fairly easy. He's had to do a lot of defending so far in these opening few races. Absolutely brilliant as well when we see it done nicely like he does. Oh, we're in the helmet or in the cockpit of Anime once again, and was looking fairly close, a lot closer than what it was there, for Anime to jump back onto the podium spots. We've got fives making some moves. He's on 13 seconds of penalties. That is going to be a kick in the teeth come the end of the race. What can fives do to open the gap to the drivers behind so he doesn't drop too far out of the points in this race? He's got one hell of a task ahead of him to make sure it doesn't happen, but also a fair gap, not much of a gap, but a fair gap between himself and Mr. G in 10th place at the minute. Haven't seen too much of him today, but he's had a fairly quiet race by the looks of it. Currently sat 10th place, had a bit of a hit and miss qualifying here and there. Did come through. What's the one? Did come through to start in 11th place and is up 1 place so far in this race, looking pretty good so far to score a single point for himself, but it will potentially be a double points finish for Red Bull if both of them can stay where they are at the minute or move themselves up a couple of places. Mr. G is closing the gap between himself and Pizza. Can he maybe nick that second? Could he potentially nick an extra point off his not going to say rival, but his rival in this race? Pizza does have the unfortunate thing of time penalties, which we'll see him drop behind. No doubt see him drop behind Mr. G if he carries on this pace that he's picked up in the second stint. He's looking pretty strong on the medium tyres at the minute as well. We are seeing the gap as well at the front, dropping every part of this race. Looking, it is down to 2 seconds. We'll jump on board for the battle for the lead in a moment. Rowdy getting passed by Ago, who's now up into 13th place. He is on a mission now. He's currently up 2 places in this race from the start, but only a few seconds, couple of tenths off Oliver. who unfortunately is slow. He has dropped so far back off top 10 here. It's going to be a mission and a half for Oliver to catch back up. Ego is also going to have a mission, 9 laps to go, and not very many fair gap to the points. A huge mission will Ego and Valdi behind him have if they are able to get catch up quickly to the rest of the grid. So 7 does still lead this race. He is on a 3-second penalty as it stands. We've got who else in this top 5 have penalties. So 7, Jensen, and all have 3 seconds. Adam also has 3 seconds, although only driver in the top 5 not to have, or top 6 sorry, not to have received a time penalty in this race. He is going to be staring down the barrel, down the nose of his car at 7 in the next lap or so. Looking very, very strong to have a fantastic battle towards the end of this race if Oro can get the gap closed down in the next few laps. There is 1.6 seconds that separates them. There is a massive DRS train behind of 3 or 4 cars of Jensen, Anime 5s, all very, very close behind. Did Anime grab the DRS off Jensen there? He's a little bit too far back. He has got it. He was within the second in the detection point, and Jensen up into 2nd place now as well. This could be a real very tough battle for lead at some point towards the end of this race. What has Jensen and 7 got in response with having 3-second penalties and Oro on no penalties and on a couple of lap fresher tyres as well? No penalties. He is going to have them final couple of laps, possibly all to himself, and can push much, much harder than the 2 guys ahead of him. So Anime 5's looking for the final, well, looking to try and get on that final podium spot as well. 5's will have a bit of a harder task than Anime will, but it is still very, very possible for them to make it. Anime 7 tenths behind as we head on to the main straight we go. Will he be able to get close enough to make any moves on the next lap? What has the Ferrari driver got in response to the cars ahead of him? So 1.1 seconds now separates the top 2. Where what will happen in this next lap or so? Second behind 7 now. Will the DRS, will he be within the detection zone come the end of this lap? There isn't much separating him now. He is back up into 2nd as it stands. Jensen now back into 3rd. Anime charging the Haas down and trying to make the most of what's to come in the second part. Ooh. Final 6 laps of this race. Did Oro get DRS? Will he have it this time around? No, he doesn't, but he does have Jensen and Anime both with it open. Jensen looking on the inside, decides not to go with the move this time around, sits comfortably in 3rd place at the minute. with not much separating the top four whatsoever. With 1.5 seconds that separates them. This is going to be an extremely close finish. Any one of these three drivers could well cross the line first. Oro is potentially going to be well and truly ahead come the end of it though. And what can happen in these final 5 laps is down to how these guys want to play it out. Right, so let's head further down the grid. We've got Exception and Adam a fair gap away from the top 4 at the minute. Fives as well has dropped off the back of the top 4 a bit more. That will be unfortunate for him. He has got a huge chunk of penalties as well to contend with at the end of this race. That's going to drop him a bit more down the grid. Not what he would have wanted, but he can make up a huge amount of time in these final 4 laps and make sure he doesn't drop out of the top 10. Adams on, I believe, 3 seconds. 3 seconds at the minute, and nicely ahead of Exception, who's going to have to put his foot down and make a nice big gap between himself and MJ, who is one of few drivers not to be on penalties. We have got a change at the top here though. Oro is in the lead of this race with 7, 3 tenths behind. Must have got through on that final run into turn 1, but this is going to be all open. What pressure can 7 put on the leader here? This is going to go right down to the wire. Will Oro stay with no seconds, no penalties? Anime does get himself a further 3 seconds, not what he would have wanted there. Can Oro withstand the the drivers behind? 7 making the move down the inside he goes, makes it well and truly before turn 1, ahead as he enters the corner, and up into first place he goes. Oro will try and look to make the move into turn 2, not quite going to happen, and with that, Jensen making a sneaky little dummy into turn 2 or 3 I believe it was, and Anime trying to sneak it up the inside as well. Not quite going to happen from there. That is quite a quick corner to do it at. Very, very brave from the Ferrari driver at that moment in time. We are looking at Jensen here for this final podium spot. Oro and 7 are still battling it away at the top here, and anything is possible between these two drivers. They are extremely quick, they know how each other race, and they probably won't give each other too much space through much of this final bit of the race. But we know what we will get from them is a fantastic battle as Oro steams past the Williams of 7 into P1 and through turn 1 nicely as well, as Capitano gets a 3-second penalty. Unfortunately for the Haas driver, down in 11th place, not where he will want to be this race, but he is well ahead of the Mercedes at the minute, so he's got a bit of a buffer with that 6 seconds of penalties he's got, as here is the top 4 still extremely close at the minute. Anything a lot of things could well happen there is not a lot of time separating them, and we are into the final 3 laps of this race as well. There is 1.3 seconds that separates them, which is absolutely nothing. Biggest gap between these two of 7 and Jensen. What are these four going to throw up in the final 2.5 laps now? So, heading down the main straight here, 7 with the DRS. Will he try and make the move into turn 1? Oh, I've gone the wrong way about it. He does make the move. Was there a little bit of contact there between the two drivers? Not too sure, but Oro's little man seems to think there was. But I'm not too sure, as we weren't able to see it because I'm an idiot and pressed the wrong button. So, Oro trying to make the move as well. We are in for a thrilling battle right now. Where, oh, a bit of a lock up there from Anime, almost into the back of the Haas as well, and just keeps it out of it. And Jensen, Oro looking to put pressure on, well, all putting the pressure on each other. Anime has dropped back a little bit, but trying to get back into contention now as well for this podium spot. He is in possibly the worst situation for top 3 right now, but he is trying to put the pressure on everyone else ahead. Jensen did receive a 3-second penalty now, so it is all open once again between the Haas and the Ferrari for that final podium position. This is absolutely thrilling between these 4 drivers. Nothing to separate them. Oro gets back past 7 once again. We've changed leader of the race for the 5th or 6th lap in a row now, up at that first corner, and we are on the final lap of the race as well, heading into the final time of doing sector 1 in this race. And what pressure can 7 put Oro under in this final lap? He's had an extreme, that was close from the Haas driver, almost into the back of 7. Anything is possible, quite literally, and 7 is going to try and put Oro under as much pressure as he can, see if he can force the Aston Martin driver into a mistake now. What can happen between these two as we head now into the final half of the track? Rowdy has retired from the session, not too sure what's happened there. Doctor gets another penalty for himself. Now he's on 16 seconds. Ago has set the fastest lap of the race. He did box earlier on. We've got Oro now about to take the win in this race. These 4 have been extremely close. We've got Oro, 7, Jensen, Anime as your top 4, 5s and Adam across the line in 5th and 6th. They do swap places at the end. Exception now across the line in 7th. MJ now as well. Pizza, MJ jumps up to P6. Pizza will come across the line in 9th. Mr. G will come across in 10th, but move up to 9th. Capitano next across the line in 11th. Doctor now will come across the line close to followed by McCoy. These 2 will no doubt swap places along with Oliver, and Will finish in 13th place in this race. Oliver will finish 12th. Doctor in 15th after a huge chunk of penalties for himself, which is very, very unfortunate. We've got Shifty, unfortunately, coming across the line in 20th place and a lap down. We've got Ago now finishing in 16th, having a bit of fun across the line goes. And that is your Qatar race done and dusted. What a battle we had for the lead. What a fantastic end to the race as well. Unfortunate for the penalties there for a few of the top 4, but once again they put on a fantastic show for us all. and have finished this race very, very strong. So Oro is your race winner for Qatar. We've got 7 in second and Jensen in third. 3 fantastic drivers there, 3 fantastic podiums, all well deserved. And Anime coming home in 4th place for, again, a unfortunate start but a fantastic race overall for them. So as we grab all of this for people, so yeah, Otto 7, Jensen, Anime, Adam, MJ 5, Exception, Mr. G, Pizza, round off your top 10, Capitano, Oliver, Will, McCoy, Doctor, Ego, Ryan, Ice, Rowdy, Shifty, round off your grid. And that was a very, very good race by everyone. This has been round 5 of the season for Can-Am. I have been Bucko. Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week. Goodbye.